That's a really poor exit for Diaz. He's going to lose position to probably both Marnik and Christoph, but a little bit of a dirty racing from Diaz. He does close the door multiple times on Christoph. We'll have to see how that's played out, but it's so hard to try and pass in a corner like Parabolica, side by side of Diaz and Christoph, and Marnik is just behind them. Marnik's probably going to be the one to gain the most out of this. Man, there is just cars absolutely everywhere, and it is going to be incredibly difficult. I feel really bad for the MGT3s, and even more coming from the Jacob Marnik area of this circuit, as the Porsches are side by side once again in this race. And Diaz, a little bit of contact with Marnik, and around Parabolica they will go. Marnik behind Diaz, but yeah, there's a little bit of debris actually on the circuit there, so the driver's got to watch out for that. It's gonna be, well, he'll be looking for a puncture. And speaking of, that is the rear wing of the BMW of, I believe that is. Yeah, it's Carlo. Carlo has lost his rear wing, and that is what the debris was. On board then with Timio, it was looking like got a great exit against Marco. Marco does defend it to the inside. It's McLaren versus Ferrari, and this could be a very interesting battle. Interesting to see how the slipstreaming works with the GT3s. Doesn't look obviously as powerful as the hypercars. Obviously, the hypercars have a massive aero package. These battles at the same time. And we'll have to see how that all plays out. But Marco, a little bit of a mistake for Jacob though in Parabolica. It's going to allow Marco to get really close to the back of Jacob. Found himself within a second of Christoph. So again, we could see another three-way battle as Power makes a massive lock-up into the chicane. Patrick in the hypercar trying to make his way past these cars. That's more blocking Patrick, but the looks of it, I don't know what was going on there. You can see one of the Porsches made the dive for it, and they're being held up massively into the turn one. And not much they can really do about that, can the GT3s? Not a lot they can do. And for position, for example, he's going to fight Marco Guzzo. This is full position, that overtake, you've just seen that. That was full position. And he's got Damien, Jacob, Giuseppe, and obviously car 54 to go to clear his way of the LMGT3s. Behind Mayak, currently battling, and they've also got Daniel Merchant just ahead of them as well. So we've got another three-way car fight. That McLaren has probably pooed his pants, and so would have I, as Powell has to tuck in on his fellow Porsche driver. The undercut has worked for Alessandro, and that means Alessandro back in this fight. He somehow gained more than 10 seconds on the undercut to Alex, so it's a great strategy call for Alessandro, and he does Mitchell Diaz. And again, this battle does continue again without Jacob Marnik, and well, without taking the racing line for Christoph, as he finds himself in the gravel a little bit. And yeah, you can see from here his throttle inputs on the right, his braking inputs on the right, his energy usage on the right as well. But obviously he doesn't use any energy, so you can see the RPMs on the left as well. But you can see he's getting blue flagged at the moment. Also, they've been behind each other for quite a bit, and well, someone needs to make a move soon, and these GT3s just ahead of them might make a good opportunity, as the Peugeot driver does get a much better exit than Daniel does. Will quickly swap back to the tower. As you see, what's just happened there is Daniel Merchant has just gone right around the outside of Daniel Krebs as he gets stuck behind the LMGT3s, and we can see what will Krebs do into turn one. Does he fake that move? Does he go for the move? It looks like he's going for it. He's going for it. Up the inside he goes. Has to cut the chicane though. Will have to lose time to that to not get to avoid a penalty, and that will cost him the position. Back to Merchant. Going to allow the Porsche alongside and ahead before turn 1, but the Peugeot might get the slipstream on the Porsche, but he has just split to overtake Jacob Woolney. He's still in P3 in that BMW, by the way, in the MG3 class. So, and Hope Powell gets stopped, but there's 2 BMWs side by side in the background, and that is something I want to see. It is Declan and Keith Jarvis, the 2 BMW drivers. It's blue versus red, and we'll have to see how that goes. Griffiths is tucking in behind Jarvis, who will pull out now towards the inside to try and get alongside into turn 1. They'll go. We'll get a better trackside view. There we go. Still on the inside is Declan. Keith on the outside. Declan cuts chicane and unintentionally does block Jarvis from getting the better exit. So lapping more on MGT3s, which is not really helping his chances at all. Big lockup though for Powell. Massive lockup. Well, I've seen him do that before in the gravel. It's going to actually come out all over the back of him. And might even looking for a move into the first Lesmo. He does. And oh, there we go. Very loud engine noises, but you can see which way is this Toyota going to go. He's going to go to the outside. Sandro is going to cover off the inside, covers him off well. Side by side around Ascari they'll go. A little bit of contact, and it does mean the Toyota has to back out of it. A little bit of wheel rubbing, nothing major serious us at the moment. And we'll see what does the Lamborghini decide to do. Does he let Powell pass because he's faster, or does he try and fight it? We'll have to find out, but at the moment, he's looking like Tom Stanek will like to fight this, as he's not, well, not easily giving way to Powell. Of course, he doesn't have to. He's more than welcome to stick to the racing line, and well, we have to see at the moment that Tom Stanek holding on to P10, and well, if he's not careful, I'm sure Powell will probably try and take that in a matter of seconds at the moment, but it's looking pretty good. Switchback for Powell. That's a brilliant switchback at Ascari, and it is going to allow him to get alongside, but he isn't got enough straight line to make the overtake on the Lamborghini driver, so Powell will have to look elsewhere. The Lamborghini has got the straight line speed, but with slipstream and energy deployed, not much can the Lamborghini do, but he's literally pushing them. There's contact, massive contact. Massive squeeze from Thomas Stanek. He has to cut Ascari, and Powell has to try and take the road, but oh my god, there's a massive squeeze there, and a little bit of contact. It put Powell in the barrier, and the Porsche flies by, but the Ferrari and McLaren still side by side. This is the closest battle on the track at the moment. It's great to see the GT3s have their racing still side by side. They go down the start-finish straight. This is going to be quite close. You've got Daniel on the inside, Noah on the outside, and Daniel looks like he's going to try and make the most out of this inside move. He is way ahead of the McLaren by turn 2. It was a great move for Daniel, up into P8 in the final 5 minutes of this race. New racing, but for the final time then, Alex comes around Parabolica, and he will win. There's a backwards hypercar, but he will win the first round of the Mini Endurance Series Season 1 in Le Mans Ultimate. Fantastic win then for Alex. Great win, and it's done absolutely brilliantly. Alessandro in second. It's done a brilliant race as well. Fought very hard with Alex, but more importantly, Jacob Woolney will come across the line to win the Le Mans GT3 class, and Alessandro across the line as well. So great win for Jacob as well. Very well deserved.